Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World in the Black Business School. And I wanted to talk quickly about something I just read about actor Jon Voight. Actor Jon Voight is a famous actor in Hollywood. You may have seen a lot of his movies. I remember him in Rosewood in particular, but he was in a lot of other movies besides that. And he gave this address apparently. It looks like he was on Twitter and he delivered a monologue basically saying that he believes that President Trump is the greatest president since Abraham Lincoln. He says, "People of the Republican Party, I know you will agree with me when I say our president has our utmost respect and love." And our love that he began. This job is not easy, for he's battling the left and their absurd words of destruction. Now he then goes into other parts of his diatribe where he says, "Don't be fooled by the political left, because we are the people of this nation that is witnessing the triumph." And he also says, "I, Jon Voight, can say without hesitation that Donald Trump is funny, playful, and colorful, but most of all, he is honest. I pray all Americans have seen and felt the meltdown of America with the Obama years to please fight for Donald Trump. He will not let us down." And then he also goes in later on and he says that he believes that Trump is the greatest president since Abraham Lincoln, which obviously sent the internet into a complete uproar and led to a lot of people saying that he's crazy, he's old, he's senile, and stuff like that. Now, what I'm going to say is, I'm not one to agree with Voight on this. I think it's kind of crazy. I don't. But then again, I don't think that highly of Abraham Lincoln. I think Abraham Lincoln. If I were a white guy, I'd probably love Abraham Lincoln. But I think as a black person, I can't. When I hear the truth about Lincoln and the truth about what he did and did not do when it came to slavery, the truth about how he felt about black people, I have mixed feelings at best. At worst, I'd say that he's another white guy. Now, with that said, though, I think the idea that Trump is one of the great presidents of all time, I just think that's silly. Even if you give credit to Trump for things that he's done in terms of shaking up the status quo, I would almost say that there's room to appreciate the idea of anybody going into the White House and doing things differently. For example, the trade war with China was necessary. China is literally going throughout the world and making these really amazing business deals that are going to allow them to control the future. They're going to control the future because they're already there. They're already thinking about the year 2100. We're thinking about 2019. That's why we're going to lose to China. And I'm glad Trump actually is one of the presidents who sees that and is fighting on that issue. At the same time, I don't think Trump has the psychological makeup that would trust me with someone like him in the Oval Office. I don't think that he is a good person. I think he is a narcissist. I think that he is a person that's not qualified for the job, nor does he have the moral fabric necessary. I think that all of his billions and all his business complications, I think, makes it muddies the White House. I can't imagine how many billions of dollars they spent just protecting a person who has business interests all over the globe and all these golf courses that he owns that he's going to visit constantly and all these other crazy things happening in his life. One thing I did like about Obama was that Obama had a relatively simple existence and he didn't have all this craziness where his wife's trying to go live in Trump Tower and they got to go protect her. And, I think that's a drain on the resources of the country. Now, I will say that when it comes to the economy, so far Trump, he's hit it right. So far, if you're going to give a president credit for a good economy, then you have to give Trump credit for this good economy. You just can't take that away from him. I think that a lot of the anger toward Trump, a lot of it's based on social issues or whether or not people think that he likes them. And I'm just here to tell you he doesn't like you. But Trump doesn't like anybody that doesn't support his agenda. He's not a good person. But I don't feel that the liberals like me either. I feel that as a black person, I don't think I really have a place in American politics. I think that Voight what's interesting about Voight's comments, just so you know, I'm not here really talking about this from one of those like simplistic points of view, like how the hell could you say that? Why would you say that about Trump? Oh my God! If you're looking for simple-minded analysis, you got to go look somewhere else. I'm going to really sort of call it like I see it, and usually I see it from all different sides. But I think with Voight, I respect anybody that stands up for what they believe in. I think that it's interesting that he's going against the grain of Hollywood. Most of Hollywood is pretty liberal. But what's interesting is that they're kind of like these weird hypocritical liberals because if you go to the places where these wealthy liberals live, they do things like for example, if you're supporting open borders on illegal immigration, then you would be okay with those immigrants coming to live in your city. And one thing that they do in a lot of these cities where a lot of the rich liberals live is they create these ordinances that won't allow them to build new housing for poor people. Or they'll say, we don't want a homeless shelter in our neighborhood. And my thought is, well, if you're supporting the homeless, wouldn't you be okay with them living next door to you or living in your neighborhood? They don't want that, right? So it's an elite sort of thing. It's built on a lot of self-righteousness, things like that. Whereas I think that the conservative ideology is built on a lack of sensitivity, for what poor people go through, oppressed groups go through, things like that. So that's why I can't say I support either side. But I think that what Jon Voight said, it took guts for him to say it. I don't think he's right. I think he's wrong. I don't think Trump is even in the top 20 of all presidents. In fact, I think having Trump in the White House is a threat to national security. And I think that people know this, and I think that's why people have reason to be alarmed about Donald Trump being in the White House. So if you want my final verdict is that Voight is wrong about what he said, but also at the same time, a lot of us are wrong about a lot of things, and the problem is that nobody will admit that they're wrong, and that's why the country is going to suffer. America is going to descend into chaos and civil war and everything else, and people see that. Russia sees it, China sees it. That's why they're playing us against each other and trying to create even more chaos so that the country will descend faster than it's already descending right now. So that's just my 2 cents. I don't know if I sounded cynical or not, but I just had to be honest. All right, I'm out of here, guys. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins. Hit the subscribe button and the share button and everything else. Also, if you want a free e-copy of my book, It Takes a Village to Raise the Bar, please go to drboycewatkins.net. That's drboycewatkins.net. Just know it's written from a black perspective. So if you're not black and you stumbled across my channel, just know I'm a black man all the time, every day of the week, and that's how it's always going to be. So I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Be good. Bye-bye.